Hello everyone. My name is Blessing, and I think I can share my screen, right? Yeah. So
Yes.
Okay. Great. So my name is Blessing, and I'm a developers relations engineer at Mantium. Basically, I'll talk about myself. I'll talk about Mantium, and we'll have a hands-on session where we're basically going to build text applications together. So we consider like, sorry, going with the theme of this presentation, we actually consider it as latest advance in data science, because it was it's the large language model we're going to work with. I will explain what the language model is in a bit, and let's get started. So I'll talk about myself. I'll talk about the company that I work with, which is Mantium, and I'll talk about large language models and the applications that you have with large language models, and we'll get to build one together. Sorry. So we'll get to build one together in a kind of low code approach. So we're not writing code. We'll build it together using the Mantium UI, and that's basically what we do. We've kind of abstracted most of this code structure, so you can build something out really quickly. And if you want to write code, you can go ahead to write code with that. So please just give me a moment. Okay, yeah, I'm going to make sure the background noise wasn't coming again. Yeah, so let me get started. About myself, like I said, I'm a developer relations engineer at Mantium, and basically how my career started is that I have a background in petroleum engineering, so not necessarily data science, computer science, or something related to tech. I transitioned just like many of you right here, because I think that's why you're student to get our data science, machine learning application. At the time that I did mine, it was with Data Science Nigeria, known as Data Science Network right now. So it was in 2018. I was still in my final years, and I basically love coding. So I started learning how to code in Python. Then what I did at the time was I developed my project. My final year project was when I developed my first machine learning project. So it was me applying my knowledge to petroleum engineering industry and using my knowledge in artificial neural network to apply and solve a problem in petroleum engineering industry. And that was also in time with the time I attended Data Science Nigeria Bootcamp. And it was what kind of propelled me to get my first job. So I got my first job as a data scientist with an energy management firm. And that was where I did my NYC as well. Sorry, excuse me. That's where I did my, That's where I did my NYC also. So after my NYC, I worked with an e-learning startup where I basically created content in data science, machine learning, data engineering. At the same time, I was also scaling up. I was learning software engineering stack, data science, data engineering, and I was building projects also. So I joined a fintech company that was in stealth mode at the time. So I joined them to, I joined them to basically help them architect their data application. Then I also joined the software team to write a little bit of code to build their product as well, because they were just launching at the time. Then right after that, I joined GoMoney as growth data scientist. So GoMoney is the fintech arm of Sterling Bank. I'm sure you're familiar with Sterling Bank. So I joined them at the time. And right after that was when I joined Mantium. So Mantium is an artificial intelligence company in the US. And basically what they focus on is building AI applications, helping people build AI application. I joined around September, my first September, August 30. So I joined them, and I joined as a developer relations engineer, meaning I'm in charge of helping developers build effectively with their product, building projects, joining the engineering team to write code, to build product, helper libraries that will help you build most of these AI applications. without necessarily having to write tedious code. So you build effectively, then I'm in charge of writing documentations and tutorials as well. So that's kind of like my role with Mantium as a engineer. So let me talk about Mantium. So Mantium is a cloud platform for building with large language model and managing them at scale. So don't worry too much if you're not familiar with large language model. I will explain everything in detail as we move on. But if you are familiar with large language model, please kindly put in the chat that you've heard something like large language model. You've heard about GPT-3, you've heard about different models. So kindly put in the chat. So I'll give 1 minute. If you are familiar with a large language model, please put in the chat. Is there anyone familiar with large language model, GPT-3, or any NLP that you're familiar with any of these advances? If you are not, also put you are not out so that I can move on. I'm trying to make this as interactive as possible. I'm familiar with GPT-3. If you've not heard of GPT-3 before, you've not heard of large language models, put in the chat. Like text it in the chat. We have 10 participants here, and I'm not seeing any replies. Oh, sorry, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yes.
We can hear you.
Tunde said it's familiar. Okay, great. Tunde, can you tell us about what you know about GPT-3? Tunde, you can put in the chat if you are not okay to talk. Oh, okay, great. So you can put also in the chat so that we learn about what you've heard of it. Have you worked with it before? Or is it just something you saw online? Have you done a project? You can just put it in the chat. Very, very short. Oh, okay, so while Tunde is getting that ready, let's move on. So basically, this session is going to be a hands-on session. So meaning we're going to build a simple application at the end. And I invite everybody to kind of participate so that you learn better by participating and it's more hands-on. And that's like, that's a way you can grow in data science. That's the way you can learn data science. You actually participate. So, and you can ask me questions. I'm here, you'll be able to ask me questions. Really, yeah, so let's get started. Let me talk about Mantium. So Mantium actually started in January 2021, and our vision is to help bring a world where AI contributions to humanity is positive and like positive and profound. And we want to make it easy for everybody to quickly build AI applications. We know that it takes a lot to build AI applications. You have to really understand machine learning, deep learning, data science, getting data, a lot of process, and then you need to learn how to manage them in terms of MLOps, in terms of deployment. So a lot has to go on before you can build AI application. And we also understand that most of this understanding, most of these groundbreaking advances, they kind of just die at the experimentation or research stage. It's actually not easy to build kind of like an end-to-end product where you can share to people interact with it. It's kind of difficult. So that's basically what we're trying to solve. So Mantium, Mantium supports different AI providers. So I will explain what AI provider is in a bit, and I'll also explain what they actually provide in a bit. So kind of like what Mantium does. So let me move to the next slide. Okay, so let's talk about large language model. So, and for this, I would like to bring up a whiteboard so that I'll be able to explain and you understand more intuitively. So give me a moment. Let me. Okay. Okay, great. Can you still see my screen? Okay. Yeah. So Put in the chat if you can still see my screen. So large language models, let me explain large language models. So large language models, I'm sure you're familiar with the normal machine learning model, the normal model. And the reason why you train model is to be able to put in an input. So you put in input, and you're supposed to get another output based on the data that you've actually trained this model with. So this is our large language model. So this is the large language model, and you have your inputs. So you have the input to get output. But in this time around, it's text data. And we have different kind of data. We have the normal numeric data, we have categorical data, but also we have data, unstructured data, and we can talk about text data. So text data is what large language models are trained on. So large language model is trained on billions of machine learning parameters. GPT-3 that we'll be looking at today is being trained on 17.5 billion machine learning parameter. So yes, and it's been trained on data from the internet, such as Wikipedia. So basically, you have all this information on the internet, documents, Wikipedia, knowledge base, everything is being gathered to train this large language model, and they are pre-trained in a way that others can use it. So you don't necessarily have to spin up this kind of, you don't necessarily need to spin up this type of model again. You don't need to do that. It's been done for you. All you just need to do is use it to build your own AI application. And when I talk about AI application, I mean text application. You can build things like summarizer. You can build things like chatbots, different text applications. So you don't need to train this machine learning model on your own. It's been done. All you need to do is you need to have access to this model. And that's where Mantium comes in. So Mantium provides you access to these large language models. So you training that, you need to have like a lot of compute resources. You need to be able to have access to 17.5 billion of ML parameters. You need to be able to rather host them on proper resources, which is kind of difficult. So you don't need to bother about training it. All you need to do is understand the architecture and how you can make use of that to build your own AI application. So different people, different providers for this. So they are the one we call AI providers. So they provide this model for us. So I'm kind of giving this arrow, and this arrow is for our AI providers. So we have different kind of AI providers. So let me say AI providers. So we have the number one AI providers. We have OpenAI. I'm sure if you must have heard of OpenAI. So they provide access to this large language model. And when I talk about large language model, I'm talking about GPT-3. So GPT-3 is the name. Is a generative. I've forgotten the full name now. I don't know. Third generation generative trained model. Is what OpenAI provides. So we also have another AI provider in the name of Cohere. So you can also check Google, and we'll be using them shortly so you understand much better. So we have AI21. So we have AI21 as well. So these people actually provide access to this large language model. And like I said, we don't need to bother ourselves. We don't need to stress ourselves with this, with building our own large language model. All you need to do is have access to it, then use it to build your own AI application, right? So use it to build your own AI application. And from there, you can build things like text summarizer, sentiment analysis, different kind of machine learning text applications. So there's also an open source model, because this model they are not open source. It's been like they're privately organized or private organizations that they own this model. So, and the open source model is the GPT-J model. So it's also a large language model, and you can have access to it to build effectively to build text applications, right? So Mantium gives you access to this AI providers, large language models. So Mantium give you access to this model. So with Mantium, you can build AI applications. You can build things that this AI providers actually provides. So that's what we're going to do in this class. And you actually don't need to write code for it. I'll explain also how you can write code. But for this class, for this session, because I'm sure like larger percentage, if not all, this is your first interaction with the large language model. And so let's get started. And like I said, I'd love for this session to be hands-on because I actually like and find out your because it's something easy and I will explain everything and we're going to build applications at the end of this session. That's my intention, right? So going back to my slide to do some kind of recap, Mantium provide access to large language models. Large language models are really big models that has been trained on billions of machine learning parameters, large data on the internet, Wikipedia, knowledge-based, different kind of text-based data that's been collected and is being used to train this model. In the sense that when you give the model a particular input, you get another output, right? So, and what are the people that that owns this large language model? We have 3 AI providers that Mantium currently supports, and we have them, OpenAI, namely OpenAI, Cohere, AI21, and there's also an open source model known as GPTJ model, right? So I hope this is clear. Before I move on, do you have any questions to ask me? So I'll kind of wait and get questions so that I know your level of understanding before I continue. So if you have any question for me, ask now before I continue.
Hello, Blessing. Good morning.
Hello.
Yeah. You said this class will be hands-on.
Yes, it's going to be hands-on, right? Yes.
Okay. Where do we get the data set from?
So I'll also explain everything. We're going to walk through everything right now. You don't need to get the data set. And to bring you to the next concept that I'll talk about. So just follow along. Have you heard of GPT? Have you heard of GPT-3 before? Have you heard of large language model before?
Yeah, just in a flash, I didn't really know what it meant. I was reading through, so it was made mention of. I didn't research on it.
Oh, okay, great. So I'm going to be building. I'm going to be building with it right now, and I'll explain more further. So thank you for the question. Anybody with more questions?
Yes, Mr. Blessing. Good morning.
Yes, yeah, good morning.
Yeah, I'm Tensorflow.
Yes, nice to meet you.
I'm a beginner. I'm just an expert. I just love data science. I'm not this grammar that you are speaking. I don't understand most of it.
Yes, and that's what I'm trying to explain. As maybe you joined late. I ask for how familiar you are with. Have you heard of GPT model?
I have not heard of GPT model. That's what I'm saying. I did join late.
Okay, so great. So if you have any questions, so far, do you have any questions that you like for me to explain?
I know. Not maybe as you go on, I'll have some more questions, but I'm still with you now.
Okay. Yeah, and they asked a question that with GPTJ that is open source provides similar privileges like GPT-3. Yes, so it does provide similar privileges like that. And currently, it's still being worked on by Mantium. So with Mantium, we provide access to the GPTJ model, but it's not a rolled out feature yet. It's still being worked on by the engineering team, and before the end of this year, you will have full access to the GPTJ model. So from the understanding of the GPT-3 model of how things work, you can basically use that with the open source model and test out different applications when it's available. But it provides similar privileges, right? And okay, and to also add to that, the OpenAI, so let's say the OpenAI GPT-3 model has a lot more features being built on So you do things like fine-tuning, embeddings. I'll explain what all those mean shortly. So just think about it like you can do more things with the OpenAI GPT-3 model because it's privately owned, have a lot of funding, and you can do things in terms of you can have something called, I'm sure everybody must have heard of the GitHub Copilot that helps developer write code and give you things like suggestions when you're writing code. Say you're trying to write a line, can complete that for you, help you solve the programming task by just giving it a line that I want to build a website. It gives you the code to generate that. So we're still going to build an application with that, and you understand much better Temitope. So let's move on. So for the sake of Temitope and everybody else on this call, let me just do a 1-minute recap also. So they have large language model that is being trained on large parameters. Like you've collected large data sets on the internet. So information that you have on the internet, Wikipedia, people's websites, blog posts, a lot of information. You use that to train the model, right? Don't bother about how the model is being trained. If you are curious and you're like really interested, you can learn about the architecture. The transformer, it's called the Transformers model architecture. You can learn about it. Really interesting, but for the sake of this class, we're not going to go deep into that. So just know that the large language model is being trained on large data sets and is available for us to use. So that means we ourselves, we don't need to train the model. All we need to do is we need to find a way to use the model. Which brings me to the next concept that I want to explain. And the next concept is known as prompt engineering. Prompt engineering, right? So prompt engineering is the way we can make use of this large language model. There are also other ways. It's one way rather that we can make use of these large language models. There are also other ways in the sense that you can use your data set. Say, for instance, you are building a chatbot and you are building a chatbot, right? You're building a chatbot for your business, and your business gathers data in terms of customer information. You gather customer requests. Say you're selling a phone. Over time, people have asked you, what is the price of iPhone X? And you know the price is not changing. So you have that question and you have corresponding answer to that. And say, for instance, you have a large Excel sheet, you have large CSV file for that. You have people asking you a question, what is the price for iPhone X? You have similar question. So you can use that data, a lot of that data, you can use it to train the model, right? You can use it to fine-tune the model rather, because the model has been trained. So you can only fine-tune it because the model has been trained. So you can use it to fine-tune the model, and the model you can use the model for your chatbot application, right? So to explain prompt engineering, is there anybody who has played the game of Charades? I always miss the pronunciation. So let me just type it here. If there's anybody who has played that in this call, can you I can put it in chat if you don't want to, if you don't want to speak. So if you've played the game of Charade before, is there anybody? You can put it in the chat if you have.
Please, can you repeat that name again?
Oh, the spelling. So the spelling is, see the spelling. Charades. So there's somebody who has in the chat, and that's Elizabeth. So Elizabeth, can you describe the game to us? Francesco has played the game before. Can you describe, Elizabeth Ajwe, can you describe what the game is to everybody?
Game of charade is like you are giving a visual representation of an object. You try to demonstrate the objects so people will not guess what you are trying to describe.
Thank you. That's exactly how it is. So say, for instance, everybody, all of us on this call, we're trying to play the game of charades, right? So let's say I'm the performer, and you get I'm the performer, and there's a secret word. The secret word is football, right? So I'm trying to let you guys guess football. So all I'll be doing is I will not talk. I'll just be describing how the football looks like. I'll do like, maybe it's round, people play it. I'll show my leg that people play. Trying to give you guys information that you guys can use to what I'm trying to tell you people. So you know, okay, the moment you see that I do round and I show my leg and I show that people kick it, I do some other symbol that people can catch it, then you know that, okay, what I'm trying to describe is a football, right? So when you think about prompt engineering, just about that. So this analogy that I've explained, when you think about prompt engineering, think about the game of charades. So prompt engineering, with prompt engineering, you're trying to show the model, you're trying to give the model information that the model can use to give you a particular output. So do you understand now? The analogy relate that to the model, the information you're giving to the model, and the model can learn from the pattern, from the examples that you are giving the model, from the instructions that you are giving to the model, and it can give you a particular output. There's some words that I'm not supposed to use in like the more advanced settings, but because larger percentage of everybody they are beginners, so I'm trying to break things down into like simpler concepts and explain. So if you go online and you do more research and you find out that you're seeing more complex terms, that's because I'm explaining in layman terms. So prompt engineering helps you give the model examples, patterns, instructions that the model can kind of learn from and give you a particular output. This thing will become clearer when we walk through answers. Well, I don't want to be progress about these things and people don't understand fully. So so I've covered prompt engineering. So with prompt engineering, we can send prompts. We can give the model a prompt. So let's say we give the model a prompt. We give the model a prompt. And we give the model a prompt plus some parameters, or let me just say, let me use settings. I don't want to use parameters, some kind of settings. So we give the model prompt plus some settings. And with this, the model will give us a particular output. So the model will learn from the prompt, from the example, from the instruction, and it will give us a particular output. So when you relate that to the game of charades, the prompt and the settings is me trying to describe to you guys what the object is, and you guys will learn from my description, my examples, and you guys will now say, what Blessing is trying to say is a football. Then you say football, then you're correct. So, and it's because subconsciously, over time, you've learned the characteristics of a football, right? You've learned that the football is round in shape, people kick it, people play it, people catch it for fun, people use it to do different kind of sporting activities. And now I'm giving you those features. Although I'm not talking, I'm trying to describe intuitively what that means. Then you guys will know that, okay, this is a football. So that's basically the easiest way that you can understand this prompt engineering, large language model, and its application in text in building text applications, right? So after this, I would like to start the hands-on session, and I'll cover all this. I'll show you guys examples. So, but before I move on, do you have any question? Is there anybody with question? Yeah, let me take the question and let's move on. Please ask your question so that I'll know how to explain better in the future, like as we progress. Okay. So no questions from Emeka. Great. How about Temitope? Temitope, are you picking the concept as so far?
Yes. I'm picking it. Thank you so much. My question is,
okay.
At what point do I begin to do all these things like you?
Yeah.
I'm learning now, but at what point will I grow to this point?
Yeah, so maybe that's why I said you joined late. I kind of covered my background and my learning progress. So okay. I started around ending of 2018, and I didn't do it fully until 2019. So you can see that it's there, like there's a time difference. So I feel like you just need to put in time, and you're doing the right thing. You're with students, you're joining this session. So just keep on doing this effort, and things that we'll talk about here, don't just let it end here. Build something really nice after this. Ask questions, connect with me, ask me questions. Something you've learned now, you are going to build one application together. Use that and build something in your own domain. And I will sort of cover different kind of applications that you can build. So you can kind of work on that project and share a lot of stuff. So share on LinkedIn, share on Twitter. That's the only way you can learn and you can grow. You get feedback from people. People see you for what you are doing, and you can even get proper jobs, right? You can connect to people in the community, then get jobs that can also help you learn and grow. Before I joined Mantium, all these things I'm explaining here, I didn't know that. I joined Mantium around August ending. My first day was August 30. But over time, I've learned, I've studied, done, like, built this project also by myself. So all these things I'm explaining is my own way of understanding this concept. So I've built a lot of things with it. And as we go on, maybe towards the end of session, I will also cover more tips as we move on. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi, Blessing. Can I quickly just ask a question? I'm sorry. Take it back. I'm currently working as a software developer for a backend. So somebody asked me a question recently on how long it will take to learn TensorFlow in JavaScript. Right? Okay. So I don't know if you could help me with that information.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, so I don't actually, when I'm learning anything, I don't say, okay, how long will it take me to learn that? I'll give myself that, okay, in the next 1 month, I should be familiar with TensorFlow. And that would mean understanding, reading the TensorFlow, Google TensorFlow documentation, and building a particular project with it at the end of the day. So if I'm giving myself 1 month, I know that everything I'm doing within that month, at the end of that 1 month, I should have learned TensorFlow, and I should have at least one project with TensorFlow. So that's the way. So I don't say it take you 3 months, it take you 4 months. So I think 3 months is okay. I think 6 months is okay. And I also think 1 month is okay. So it depends on the person. So, and the person would actually need to set realistic deadlines. And also we have different lifestyle. The person might be working full-time job. The person might be jobless. They have all the time in the world. So it really, really depends on the time the person actually sets. And so I think that's my reply to that. Does that answer your question?
Yes and no, but okay. What I'm trying to maybe narrow down, because I have no experience with it, right?
Okay. Okay. So
for someone to be comfortable enough to use it, like maybe.
So does the person have solid knowledge of machine learning?
None at all.
Because TensorFlow is a framework. Do you understand? You have TensorFlow, you have Charades. So TensorFlow is a framework, and backend. So it's like me saying, how long will it take me to learn React? How long will it take me to learn Express.js or Node.js, right? Without actually having maybe solid understanding of how JavaScript works. Is the person familiar with JavaScript or Python? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, JavaScript. The person is familiar with JavaScript already.
We can actually take this. You can connect with me after this session, then we can talk more about it, right? So, but I find it really interesting that you're a software engineer, and also what we're kind of talking about here, you can also use it to build applications in software. I mean, like, because you can build real, so you don't have to think that this is machine learning, and so you can apply it, you can build a chatbot, you can build, like I'm talking about what we're talking about today. So I'm also show more examples. So let's move ahead. So I've kind of
ask a brief question, please.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, if I may, if I understand well what's GP, so what it is, GPT-3, it's a neural network that enables the computer to speak in human language.
Perfectly, yes.
Okay, so
yeah, but not speak. Let's use the word process and analyze.
Okay, do you mean humans give the computer natural language and the computer processes that natural language, or the computer replies to humans in natural language? I want to understand what it really is.
Oh, okay. Great. So can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so it says here that let's start from natural language processing, right? So natural language processing is a subfield of linguistic, computer science, and AI focused on developing computational systems able to understand natural language, right? So
Okay.
we as humans, we already have English, we already have Yoruba, we already have, sorry, excuse me, we already have Hausa, we already have Spanish, we already have French, right? So this field is just helping computational systems to be able to understand this natural language. So when I say natural language, think of it like the kind of language you speak. English is a very good example. Do you get it?
Okay.
So now
Okay.
GPT-3 is the recent breakthrough in NLP that is being made possible by transformer language models, which are more efficient and capable of processing longer sequence of text than earlier methods. So before, what we used to do in the NLP field is that we have this traditional approach where you help the computational system understand natural language in a more manual process. So you can kind of think about it like maybe sometimes there's something like logic, where you say that if you see hello in a sentence, reply with I am fine. Do you understand? So when you tell the computer that if you see hello in a sentence, that means without even saying the rest, that means the person is saying hello, how are you, or something. So you train the computer that normal Python if statement that if you see hello in a statement, reply with I. Or if you see hello in a statement and you see other string at the end, reply with I am fine. Because if you say hello, you know that the next common phrase that will follow is hello, how are you, right? So reply with I am fine. So great. So that's basically, so now with the recent breakthrough, we have the transformer model, which is more efficient and is more capable of this sequence. So that's why I talked about large language model, and that's the transformer model. And these are the people that have trained and made available this large language model for us to use. Do you understand now?
Yes, I do.
Right? Okay.
Yes, I do.
So let me move ahead. So let me just cover large language model in action. So there's a lot you can build. There's a lot you can do, right? Or just pick up 4 use cases. There's a lot that can be done. So you can make up new English words. You can get the model to come up with new English words. You can translate complex code. So you see a particular code and you don't understand it, you can give it that to the model, and the model will write in plain English what that means, and you understand that. So the model can do that. You can generate video idea games. So people that are actually designers, game designers that build games, they've used this to generate different ideas. And Mantium, we have one on our documentation, one video game idea generator. I'll share some link at the end, but okay, don't let me get distracted. I'll share some link at the end of the class. So you can read a tutorial where we use build a tool that comes with video games idea. And this is what I did. I built a WhatsApp AI conversational bot, in the sense that I built a bot just out of play for fun, that you can ask different kind of question and it gives you some kind of response, right? And the kind of response that I'm getting from the model is I'm one that determines that by tweaking and coming back to prompt engineering. So prompt together with my settings determines the kind of response I get from the model. So I just want to talk about the applications. And if you go through, you see, I feel like the one that is really funny to me out of these responses that I got was, let me make it bigger. Out of the responses that I got was, so I asked the bot that what is the capital of Nigeria? And it says, I don't know what the capital of Nigeria is, but if it is anywhere near Lagos, I would be very worried. That's actually really, really like, if you're in Nigeria, you know that Lagos is traffic, with chaotic, with doesn't seem like where the capital of the country should be. right? And I have another screenshot where I actually asked the model what the capital of Nigeria is. And the model just gave it to me straight up, Abuja, right? But I didn't put the screenshot here, forgot. So, and I also asked, how can I travel to London? How can I travel from London to Paris? It says one option would be to fly, right? Another option would be to take the train, right? So, and I ask, okay, how many meters are in a centimeter? And it says a centimeter is a thousandth of a meter. That's actually like this conversion unit. I think it should supposed to be 100, but it says here, what is a centimeter? A centimeter is about 0.39 inches. Nice. So I said, how can I learn something? So the model just gives responses to some kind of questions that you ask, and it's by doing prompt design, prompt engineering that you can get this model to respond. And we're going to be doing that in this class. Very easy to do, and I'll explain that you don't have to write any code. These I wrote code for because a lot of integration has to go in line, but I'll explain how to do that without writing code. So let's get to it. And the first process, the first important thing you need to do is you need to create an account on the Mantium app. So I'm putting the link on in the chat. So app.mantiumai.com. Just create a free account right now. As we proceed, then we're going to get access to our large language provider after this process. So let me know when you're done registering it. Just put your email, put a password, and that's it. So let me know when you're done. Just put done in the chat. Put done in the chat. So this is I'm done, and I expect everybody to participate so that when you ask your question, it becomes clearer to you and you understand. You can do this with your phone. You don't have to do it with your system. So if you are not here, you are not on the call with your system, just go to Chrome, create a different tab, and create a Chrome tab or something, and do that. So put it in the chat when it's done so that I know when to proceed. So the link is in the chat. So I'll go to app.mantiumai.com, create a free account, and let's get started. Let me know when you're done.
Hello.
So put down. Say again, yeah.
Hello. Yeah. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Well done, sir. Please,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I joined the class a little bit late, so I've been trying
okay.
to.
Okay, you've been trying to catch up, right?
I've been trying to catch up. But what side do you have to do the registration?
Say again.
What site are we doing the registration?
The link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. Let me put a proper link. It's in the chat. I think the link is in the chat.
Okay, then. Thank you.
Yeah. So has anybody been able to? So this is a proper link here. You can just click on this. You can just click on this. I have another link in the chat. Let me know when you're registered. Just put done. Temitope, have you registered? Okay, Ace is done. So I expect everybody to participate so that you understand better, and when you ask your question, I'll be able to answer very well because it's something you can relate with. So it's only Ace that is registered. Who else is registered? Temitope. Okay, I'm giving 1 minute before I move ahead. So for the sake of Olale that asked the question and he joined late, I'll just do like a 1 minute recap while everybody registers. And I'll do like a recap. Okay, great. So what we're trying to talk about, Osholale, is we're trying to cover latest advances in data science. And one of the latest advances in data science is the creation of the large language model. And that's basically what we're trying to cover. And what is large language model? Large language model is a model. Think of it like your normal, I'm sure maybe you've heard of machine learning model. Just think of it like that for now. It's a machine learning model that is being trained on large text data. So you have blog posts, you have Wikipedia, you have internet data, you have books, you have a lot of sources for text data. So they gather all this and they use it to train the large language model, right? So now you can use the large language model. You don't have to learn how to train it. You don't need to, it's pre-trained already. Somebody has done that for you. So who did that? Your AI providers did that. So OpenAI did that, Cohere did that, AI21 did that, and there's an open source model, which is the GPTJ model. It's there for access, but currently we are going to talk about this one I put in this rectangle, OpenAI model, Cohere model, and AI21. So they've done this training for you. You don't need to do it. All you need to do is have access to it. And how do you have access to it? You can have access to it on their website, on their platform. But Mantium is actually making it easy for you to build application with that, for you to have access and build something you can play with, something you can share with others to play with. And we're going to do that in this session together, everybody together. So, and how do you have access to it? You have access to the model by doing what we call prompt engineering. And I explained that prompt engineering using the analogy of the charades. There you are trying to describe intuitively, you're trying to describe to your, I'm sure maybe you've played the game. Are you familiar with the game? If you are not familiar with the game is just some kind of game whereby you have people looking at you and you're describing to them what the object is or what the secret word is. Maybe the secret word is a football. You're trying to describe to them that, okay, a football is round, people kick it, people catch it, but you're not supposed to open your mouth. So they know from your description and they give you like outputs. So that's how you should think of the large language model, getting input and giving outputs using prompt engineering. Although you can use data sets, you can use CSV, you can use a lot of information that you gather to fine tune, because I told you the model is there already. So you can fine tune it. Think of it like you having a rectangular wooden structure, then you're carving it to form a shape. Do you understand? The wood is there already. You don't need to bother about how the wood came by. All you need to bother about is how you can carve the wood, cut the wood at edges to get you what you want. Do you understand? And that's basically what we're trying to do in this session. So I'm going back to the chart. Okay, so A is nice question. So Mantium supports APIs for these three AI providers. And our own model is built on top of the open source model. So it's free for everybody to use, but it's currently being rolled out by engineering, and they rolled it out by the end of the June. We officially just launched in November, right? But we started building in January and I joined the team September. So Mantium has its own application, but it's open source. The AI providers, they already have their own model, and we're only supporting that and helping you to build effectively with these APIs. And Mantium has its own API, but its API supports these three people's API and some other features. And I'll explain everything as we move ahead, right? So does that answer your question? So we have our own API, we have our own helper library, but our own API is built on top of these three AI providers API, and our own open source model is still being like in product, it's still being in development, and it will be released for use to the public before the end of the year, right? And also we have some other features that is built on top of this, and we have APIs for. So, and I'll explain more about that as we move ahead. Does that answer your question? Okay, I think Tunde has left the session. Wow. Okay. Okay, great. So let's move ahead for everybody. So I'm trying to maybe we can try to round up this session in the next, say, 30 to 40 minutes, so that if you have other things to do, you can get ahead with that. So let's move on. Let's see, now that everybody has registered. Great. So everybody has registered. Done. I think some people have still not registered, right? So if you are just joining us and you've not registered, I'll paste the link again so you have access to it. I'll paste the link again so that you register and you can all, because I'm trying to make this hands-on so that when you ask your question, I'll be able to answer effectively. So register there. So to the next stage, now that you've registered, to the next stage is getting access to this large language model. So OpenAI has not released its own model for us in Nigeria. I have access to it because my company is in the US, but it's not been available for the general public. It's available for some countries, but for some reasons, I don't know why they always like to leave Nigeria out of these things. I don't know why. So, but it's not available for Nigeria. Korea is available for Nigeria and it's free, but you have to provide your ATM card. You have to give them your ATM card to get free credit for 3 months. It's fine. But AI21, you don't have to give your credit card. So we're going to register everybody here. We're going to have access to the large language models on AI21. So I'm going to drop the link in the chat now. Let me get the link for everybody. So AI21 Studio. So click on Get Started. So I've dropped the link in the chat. So let's get our own API key so that API key will give us access to these large language models. So let's do that to AI21 really quickly. So go to the link and click on Get Started. Register. Let me know when you're done registering. So that's the link in the chat. Register to AI21 so that we get access to the large language models. And we build a simple application. We are not writing any code. It's very easy to do. So we're going to build that together and you see. So let me know when you're done registering, please. This is usually what takes time because everybody's trying to register and I'm trying to wait for everybody. So
sorry.
Yeah, so
sorry. Hello.
Yeah, the link is in the chat.
Is that the Get Started should be done on a desktop? And right now I'm using
your phone.
Yes.
Wow. Let me try.
On your Chrome, just click on desktop sites.
Yeah, do Chrome and click on access the desktop site.
Okay.
Okay. Let me know when you've registered on AI21. Let me know when you've registered, please. So that we don't take too much of your time and we build this application really quickly. So just put in the chat, registered. Put in the chat, registered. Put in the chat. Well, and let's wait for others. Done, Elizabeth. Nice. So so grab your API key. When you're done, you go to your profile where you have your nice maybe profile picture or your name. I think it's the top right corner. So click on that and click on and copy your API key. So you see your API key there. Let me know if you can see it. So it's on your profile. Access your profile and get your API key. Copy your API key. Access your profile and copy your API key. Access your profile and copy your API key. So I'm waiting. I'm giving everybody 5 minutes. So by 1:07, I'll ask back. So your API key. So the goal is to copy your API key from your AI21 profile. Only 3 people have registered on AI21. And I want more people to register so that you understand and it's hands-on. And I'm not just, James, you asked a question the other time. I want you to also participate. So have you registered on Mantium? Have you registered on AI21? James. Hello, James. James, are you there? Paul, how about you?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Emeka.
Yeah, I just registered to AI21, but I wasn't asked for any API key, something like that.
No. Copy it. You need to copy it. Go to your profile. So go to your profile. On your profile, you see your API key. Just copy it. Probably let me share my screen and do that. Let me also register. I think I registered one with my personal email. Let me register one with my other email so that everybody sees it. So James, is James still here? Is James still with us? Paul, have you been able to register on AI21?
They are supposed to send me a code, but they haven't sent it. So,
oh, no, click on send. Have you clicked on send?
Yes,
Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. Let me put in my phone number right here. Oh, okay. Here's my. Okay, AEs, let me resend the link. Okay, just a moment. So register on Mantium, as that's the first process. When you've registered on Mantium, register on AI21. Oh, sorry, I sent the link.
Sorry, I keep getting the same
say again, you keep getting
same prompt.
What's the prompt?
That I should not open on. I can't open a mobile device. I can only open it desktop. When I switch to desktop site on my phone.
Okay.
I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Oh, so you can't access with your
with my mobile phone.
Yeah. Okay, just a moment. So I think you can only do that with your mobile. So I'm in, and when I come to my profile here, and I come to my account, then I see my API key here, right? So do that, everybody. Go to your profile and come to your account. So I think you can only do with mobile. I think you can only do with mobile. Yeah, but sorry, with desktop, you can't do it with your phone. So do you have access to your system there?
No, I don't.
Oh. So I'm waiting. Just put in the chat when you are done. API key copied, great. So if you've copied your API key, connect it to Mantium. So go to Mantium, see my screen, go to Mantium and go to AI providers and paste it in AI21 labs. So paste it in AI21 labs. Just paste it here. Once you paste it, click on add API key. That's the only thing you need to do. So let me know when it's done. So just put connected, reply connected. Just reply connected when you are done, please. So that we'll get to build something maybe 1:15. So let's wait for everybody. Okay, great. So put connected in the chat. Olatumosun, what kind of issues are you still having so that I can help you out? What kind of issues are you still having? Okay, you've registered with what website? Okay, which website did you register with? Okay, after registration, sorry, I lost my internet for a bit. Sorry, I'm back. Great. Sorry, I lost my internet for a bit. Okay, so I take it by now that everybody's registered and you've connected. A lot more about you. Register on AI21 and let's build something. Temitokbe Alpha. Temitokbe, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm with my phone. No, I'm very far from my system right now. I'm at work. My system is somewhere inside the house.
Oh, okay, that's fine. No problem.
Hi,
Blessing,
I'm
please,
following
where
you.
this thing is taking me to, I don't understand though. Please
Why?
go to your studio, your AI studio site. Let me see where you went to.
Okay, I'm coming. I think, was it Elizabeth that wanted to speak the other time?
No, it's Faith.
Okay, Faith, yes, go ahead.
Please, is it on the Mantium website where we're supposed to put the AI code? It shows connected automatically without me having to.
So did you copy and paste and add API key?
I copied and pasted it on the Open AI where it said, and it's saying not connected, and it was even saying invalid key, but I can see on the Mantium.
You're supposed to copy and paste it in AI 21, not Open AI.
Oh, AI 21 Labs.
AI 21 Labs. You can see my screen. So everybody copy and paste your link in AI 21 Labs.
Oh, okay.
I mentioned that OpenAI doesn't give Nigerians access to their API key.
Okay, it's connected now.
Yes. Okay, great. So and I think it was Emeka, right? So this is my AI 21. So do you have access to this studio?
Yes, I have. I'm already connected. I've gotten the API key and I've connected.
Okay, fantastic, great. So now that almost everybody is familiar, so let's build something. Let's build something. Okay. So now, I was saying something about prompt engineering, right? So if you on Mantium, if you navigate to the left side, right? If you navigate to the left side, you see something called prompts. Have you seen it? Something called prompts. So if you see my screen, prompts. So this is where you do your prompt engineering to access the model, the large language model. So let's do one. And what we are going to be doing in this class is we're going to be building some kind of dictionary that provides meaning that help us explain a particular word. So we're going to be building application that explain a particular word. So see the way we have this example. So this is your prompt. Can you see my screen? Please let me know if you can see my screen in the chat.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can see your screen.
So, I explained prompts. I said prompt is a way of you providing instruction to the model, of you telling the model what you want to do, right? And I connected it to that charades analogy. I never really know how to pronounce that word. I need to go learn how to pronounce it. Yeah. So, but you see now that what we're trying to say is, this is the example, this is the instruction, and this is the model, right? So this is the instruction, this is the model. So the model is well, that's the name of the model. And it's been trained on this parameter, right? So it's not mute, please mute. Okay, Olatunmo, you raised up your hand. Please ask your question. Or can you mute, please?
Yeah, I've not been able to get the API key.
Okay, but have you registered with AI21?
Yes.
Okay, so go to your profile, AI21, top right corner.
Okay.
So you see your API key.
Okay.
Yes.
So where do I paste that? I paste it in
Mantium. Then go to AI provider.
Okay.
And go to AI21 Labs.
Okay, so I just paste it right there, right?
Just paste it right there and add API key. And you see a green short sign showing you are connected.
Okay, thank you. You can go on. I'll let you know.
So this is what we are trying to do. We are trying to build this kind of text application. And I said Mantium makes it very easy to build with, because if you see in AI 21, all you can do is you can just interact with it. You cannot share with your friends. You cannot post it on Twitter for other people to make use of it, right? And so that means for you to make use of this application, you actually have to write code to access their API. And Mantium has abstracted a lot of that and make it easy for everyone, people without really deep knowledge of deep learning, to do something like this. So if you see, let's look at this example together. So it says, what does the word link mean in the following sentence? And this is the sentence. The evacuation machine malfunctioned due to a broken link, right? And the meaning is a ring or loop in a chain. So the link, a broken link in this sentence means a ring or loop in a particular chain. If that's not clear, let's look at another example. What does bank mean in this sentence? This sentence is, I was banking on my team winning the next game as well. The meaning is to depend on something. That means you're banking on someone. So you've provided these instructions to the model. Now it's time to test the model knowledge, right? What does the word drop mean in the following sentence? The drop in subscription in May is cause for something, cause for an alarm. So we expect the model to give us the meaning, right? And me and you, we know intuitively, because we are human, we know that the meaning is drop. But the model is difficult for the model to know, the computer system to know, if it is not being trained. So let's build something like this with Mantium, and let's go ahead. So the first thing we're going to do is, you can see my screen, right? Come to prompt, click on prompt, click on add a new prompt. So, and let's fill out this form, and this is basically where we are going to build our application. You don't have to write code. Nobody is writing any code right now, but we're still going to build a text application, and that's why Mantium is there to help you build with a low code, no code, or code approach. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to provide a proper description to identify our prompt. And that means give it a name and give it a description. We can give it any name. Give it, because it's hands-on, so give it any name that you feel. I'm going to give it student demo. That's the name I'm going to give it. You can give it any name that you think. It really does not matter. I'll just say this is a demo. This is a demo, right? So this is a demo. That's done. So please skip tags, skip security policy, and skip intellect for now. Maybe more student sessions, I'll come back and explain what this actually means. But for now, let's keep it and let's build something really, really simple for this session. Right? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to select the provider. I told you about AI provider. If you go back to our whiteboard, we said we have different AI provider. We have OpenAI, we have Cohere, we have AI 21, and you have the JPTJ model which Mantium provides, and we're still working on it. It's not yet for the public to use. The engineering team is still working on it, and they want to deploy it by the end of the year, right? So let's select a provider. And in this case, for this demo, because you guys have connected AI 21 API key, you select AI 21. If you have connected OpenAI, select OpenAI. Or peradventure, you have OpenAI key, select OpenAI. You get? But for this demo, everybody will select AI 21, right? So what endpoint of OpenAI do you want to interact with? So OpenAI, so you can think of endpoint as a place for that everybody can access to get access to the OpenAI large language model. For now, OpenAI provides the complete endpoint. And what does the complete endpoint mean? The complete endpoint lets you do something like perform task, like completion. So the task is completion in the sense that if I tell the model that I want hello, the model will complete it by how are you, rather. So the model will complete it with how are you, because I provided hello. So if you go back to the example that I want to build, we've provided these things, right? These things up until this place. So the model will kind of complete for us with the meaning of subscription in this sentence. That's what we expect the model to do, right? So let's do that. And how does the model does this because the model has learned from the pattern that we provided the model in the prompt, and that is prompt engineering, and you can link it back to the game of charades. So let's go back to what we're trying to build. So the endpoint is complete. What model are we going to access? So like I said, where the model is being stored itself, the compute engine where the model is being stored, these are the names, right? So AI21 have access, AI21 have two models, right? So they have the J1 large and they have J1 jumbo. So each of these models, they have their special task that they do, that they are in charge of. And for this particular example that we're building, select the AI21 jumbo. Because if you see here the model, the AI21 jumbo, right? So select the model. You don't know how the model was built. All what you know is you know the right model for the right task. If it was to be OpenAI, say for instance, if it was to be OpenAI, let me just explain so you understand. OpenAI has different type of tasks. OpenAI has completion that kind of help you do completion tasks in the sense that to provide the model some certain words and it completes it for you. The endpoint answers endpoint. OpenAI provide the answers endpoint whereby you provide the model with some certain kind of question and the model helps you answer it. Classification, you provide the model some certain prompt and the model classifies that. So you can classify, say, male, you can classify, say, female. Model can help you do that. The model can help you search documents with the search endpoint. So these are the kind of different endpoints that this model they've been trained upon. So let's go back to AI21. Sorry, let's go back to AI21 and let's select the one jumbo model. Do you have any questions? Somebody on mute now. Let me talk back. Do you have any questions for me or Latumoso? Hello, please mute now. Can you talk back? Mute your call. I thought you even had a question for us. Please, are you following? Let me know if you are following, please. Let me know if you are here. Let me know if you are following. Put it in the chat.
We are following you. We are following you.
Okay, thank you. So now the basic settings. You know, I said the basic setting plus the prompt kind of determines how we give the model input and the model will give us output. So the prompt text is what we are going to. This is the prompt text. Everything here is the prompt text. So go copy this and paste it in Mantium. Please know that you can come up with different examples. I have like tons of examples. I have my own prompt, but for the purpose of this tutorial, make sense for us to work with this prompt, already nice prompt. And you can see there are more prompts here. There are more use cases there which you can also practice with after this session. I want everybody to also practice with more. We're only working with explain a word example, so you can copy, you can work with more. So let's go with this one. So copy this. The moment you copy it, paste it here. See where I pasted it, paste it here. Now let's build the settings. So if I should go back to my drawing, the prompt plus the settings is what will determine the input. So let's edit the settings, provided the prompt.
Blessing, sorry. Yeah. Can you just help us paste that text in the chat box?
So the thing is, you see the way it's being formatted. I think I'm not sure if I paste it in the chat box, if it will still be properly formatted. I pasted it in the chat box. Okay, it's properly formatted. Just see the way I copied it with this column at the end. So I pasted it in the chat box, in the chat box already. So let's provide the settings. Let's provide the settings and let's work with the settings. So the settings is what we are going to work with the prompt and do the model. And give the model something so that we get input. So the first settings here is the maximum tokens. So the maximum tokens is, I want you to think about it like some sort of way for the model to recognize this text. So the model kind of see this text, kind of see drop, and it gives it a number. So so hello, how are you? The model will say how are you is. The model can say how are you is 1. Hello rather. The model can say this comma is comma is 2. The model can say, how are you is 3. So these are tokens, right? In a way for the model to be able to recognize this, because it's me and you that knows what this means. Like, what does the word, like it's me and you that knows that, okay, when we see this thing, it means something, right? But the model doesn't. So the model needs to find a way to understand that. So that's why it converts it to tokens. So for this example, the tokens that we're going to provide there is what we want as our answer. So let's provide 20, right? Amount of text generated in tokens. So amount of text that you want to generate, but you have to put that in tokens. So the maximum number of tokens you can work with is 204. And a word is about 4 tokens, right? So a word, say amount, is about 4 tokens. So you just do that calculation, and for this tutorial, nothing deep, let's work with 20. So the next parameter we're going to put, or the next settings that we're going to provide the model is temperature. It's okay if you still don't understand what all this means. Well, I would not expect you to really understand well, because this is your first time. It took me a while also to understand. But temperature is a way of...
Hello, I am Blessing.
Yeah.
Please, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, this mass token, is it speaking to the maximum amount of word that must come out as a meaning?
Yes, so it's speaking to, okay, so let me use this to explain. For AI 21, what 20 means is the amount of one that must come out as the result of the meaning. But for someone like AI 21, is the prompt, I'm sorry, OpenAI is the prompt together with the meaning, the answer, the meaning of this word, right? So you have to understand how each AI provider does their own settings, and you find that on their website. It's explained there, right? So, but for this, you see that even AI 21 says here that maximum completion length. Let's read it together. It says the maximum number of tokens generated. The J121 model have a capacity of 204 tokens in total, including both the prompt and the generated completions, right? So that's this prompt, this highlighted prompt, together with the answer of the meaning of this drop, right? That's basically what is here. Sure you get. So then they now said this corresponds to 2,300 English words on an average, right? And I said that this is the maximum completion length. So you can take this as like maybe 20 words, right? Mm-hmm. So let's go back to the settings. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. So temperature now. Temperature is just a way of determining how creative the model can be. When I say creative, is how you want the model to go off tangents, how you want the model to think of something outside of the box. So if you put higher value of temperature, the temperature value, the model will give you something outside of what you are putting here, right? Something really, really creative, right? But if you put lower value of temperature, it will give you something in line of this. It will not go off tangents, right? It will go in line with what you've provided in the prompt. So for this tutorial, let's put 0.8. So it's advisable that you should not mess with this top P parameter. So we'll put 1. So if you are tuning your temperature, leave this at 1. So you can reduce this to 0.7, 0.8, 0.9. You can play around with it. But if you're playing around with temperature, leave top P to be 1, right? So the rest sentence, we'll leave it empty for now. The remaining settings really does not matter. Let's leave it for now, so as not to overcomplicate things, right? Let's work with these 2 settings. Then stop sequence. So stop sequence is a way of you telling the model when to stop. The model doesn't know when to stop. If me and you, if you are reading this, we know when to stop. Say, what does the word link mean in the following sentence? We already know when to stop. It makes sense because we are humans. We've learned over time to know, but the model doesn't. So we need to find a way to tell the model to stop. So we need to provide stop sequence in terms of symbol that the computer system understands. And for this new line, like anytime you come from this line to another line, like this is a line, this is a line, this is a line. So the model will understand this line by line. So the stop sequence for this, let's add it, add stop sequence. And how do you, if you're familiar with Python, how you write new line is /n. So on your system, use that /n. You can see the way it is. So that's how you put in new line. So stop sequence will cut off the generation at the end of the sequence. It's a way of telling the model when to stop. So the model knows when it sees a particular line, when you finish a particular line, it stops, goes to the next line, stops. Read that, goes to the next line, stops. So that's that. I'm sure everybody has completed the settings. So as a recap, max token is 20, temperature is 0.8, topic is 1, stop sequence is /n. So now that that's done, let's hit test run. So now that we've hit the test run, right, so the model, so we've seen the response, right? If you can see my screen, let me read out the response. It will be different from what you have, and I'm really curious to find out what you have. It will be really different. So my own is the fall in the rate of something that occurs suddenly. So unmute yourself and tell me what you get, or put it in the chat. Tell me what you have as a result. Put it in the chat. Tell me what you have as. Okay, Dimeji said his own is fall or descent, right? You see, it's different. To know something, especially to fall or decrease. I love this, that we're getting really, really different responses rather. Nice. So this we built a sort of text application that provide meanings to something, right? That provide meanings to something. So let's make others use this application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make others use this application, and I want you guys to copy. Nice. I'm getting more responses. Nice. I'm getting more responses. Nice. Chike's response is the act of something, the act of setting down something. Nice. Elizabeth, decrease in number or amount. Everybody. Let me paste my own so that you see that we all got different responses. And that's the power of the GPT-3, the large language model. So we all got different responses. So let's make this useful. So what I'll do is I'll copy from, look at my screen, see where I copied from. I'll copy this and I'll add here. See, look at my screen. Copy that and I will add it here. Have you guys copied it? Please copy it and have you guys added it like the way I've done? If you have added it, nice. So let's see. Say again. See the way I added it. I copied my response and I added it like this. Please take note. There's space between this colon and the first letter. Please take note. Look at my screen. See the way it is. That's the way you should have it. Do you understand? So let's see the power of Mantium. Let's deploy this. So deploy now, give it a name. I'm going to give mine student demo as well. Please give yours a different name as well. So it will be your name, it could be your name, your nickname, or it could also be student class or something. So description, this is a demo. You can give it anything. Author name, I'm giving it my own name. Lesson. I'm giving it my own name. Somebody's not on mute, please. Mr. Osholale, please mute yourself. So author name, I'm giving it Blessing. I'll give it Blessing. That's my name. Blessing Adesiji is my name. So then make sure it's set to public, make sure it's set to live, make sure it's set to click on intended for adult use only. Click on I have followed my guide provider go to live requirement. Just click on it. It's just some sort of check-ins like agreeing to terms and conditions. When that is done, just hit the deploy button and see what Mantium will help you do. So Mantium builds your application for you automatically by spinning up a one-page web application that you can share with others. You can copy the link and share with your friends. You can share on Twitter. You can share on Facebook. Although some of these integration, I don't know if the Twitter one is still working. I've not tested it. But yeah, so you can tweet about it. You can do a lot of things. So to build this as a software engineer, and that was why I wanted James to participate. James will understand as a software engineer that to build this, you need to have your backend set up. You need to have React. front-end design, but Mantium does this for you automatically. And you can just copy the link and share with others. So I'm copying the link, my own link, and I'm pasting it in the chat. So please copy and paste your own link in the chat. I want to see your own link as well in the chat. So copy and paste your link in the chat. Let me know you've deployed, you've created your first text application. Nice one, Emeka. Emeka has created his own text application. So unless we are going to test it now, everybody, we are going to test out our own application. We're going to test out our application. So copy the link, copy and paste the link in the chat so that I know that you're following. Okay, more links so that I know you've deployed. Okay, Faith also has deployed. She has generated a link. So you can also tweet about it. You can share it on LinkedIn. That I just created my first word explainer. So you can just maybe tweet about it. I just created, no worries, James. You can reach out to me. I'll share my contact, my email, my Twitter, my LinkedIn. I'll share it and you can reach out to me and we can do something together. So you can just tweet maybe, Paul is fine. No worries, it's fine. So you can just share on LinkedIn, those of you that have the link, but I want to see more links. I can only see like 5 links here, including my own. I want to see more links. Nice on Elizabeth. So you can just, so the purpose of what Mantium is doing is to make sure that everybody can build easily without coding, right? So you can just, and you can share with your friends. When I did my own first one, I shared with my contact on WhatsApp. I built a text summarizer and I shared with my people on WhatsApp. I shared with, please, do we paste our link on the canvas on AI21? No, don't paste it in the chat box, please. No, paste it in the chat box, Ace. I just wanted to explain something. So I said you can share on LinkedIn. Say I just created a word explainer, explainer with Mantium. Here is the link. So you can share something like this on LinkedIn or on Twitter, anything you want to do. You can share it with your WhatsApp people. But let's test it. Let's test it. So the way we are going to test it is, let's copy something like this, but we're going to change it. We're going to give it a different sentence. So let me just change this. Let me change it. Let me give it let me say, what does the word teach mean in the following sentence? I want you to teach me how to code. So I'm going to paste this in the chat box. So this is what we're going to use to test our AI application. So see what I pasted in the chat box. I'm also going to paste it here, and I'm going to see the power of Mantium and the application that I built with Mantium. So see, I pasted it here, and let's execute. Hey, no. I copied the wrong one. I'm going to paste it again. I'm going to copy it again. Sorry. Copy this. Sorry. Yes, sorry. Ignore the first message. The second message is the one I wanted to paste. The second one, what does the word teach mean in the following sentence? I want you to teach me how to code. So let's test that with what we've just created. So execute. So let's see what we get. Show someone how to do something. Show someone how to do something. You see one thing that happened right now. I was getting, what does the word trade mean in the following? That's because my stop sequence is not properly set. So the model didn't know when to stop. The model just continued generating something for me outside this word. So to make it perfect, I need to go back to my application and just test and look for what was wrong. And I'll stop the model from generating nonsense. But do you understand what I'm trying to communicate? That you've built your own test, word explainer you build your own word explainer application. So let me know if you understand. Let me know if you get to this point. Please unmute yourself. I'm happy to take more questions while we get ready to round up. So you can build more. I'll share more resources where you can learn and you can build more applications. If you're a writer, you can build a blog generator. I built one. I built a chatbot. And you guys can, let's test my chatbot together on this call. Let me test my chatbot together on this call with you guys. So I built it together. Yeah, let me test it. I'll show you guys how it works. So this is the prompt. This is the prompt that I provided. So I provided different kind of questions to the model. I'll have a tutorial on this, which I will also share with the organizer. They can share that with you as well. So let's ask my own something. Let's ask it, what is machine learning? And let's execute, let's test run. What is machine learning? So machine learning involves a computer program that learns from data and gets better at tasks over time without being explicitly programmed. And that's the meaning of machine learning. And if you see, all I just did was provided the model, a few examples, ask the question, provided answer, ask the question, provided answer, ask the question, provided answer. So that's just prompt engineering, working with large language model in a summary. So I'm ready to take your questions. So unmute yourself and ask your question. Let me know if you understand. Let me know the result of what your application gave you. Let's talk before I end the session. Wow. I love Aizy's what's it called? Response. And I'll be taking a screenshot of that. I'll be taking a screenshot of that. So let me know other applications that you guys were able to build with this stuff. So let me stop sharing my screen and let's just stop. Let's stop.
Okay, I've got some questions, sir.
Say again.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so my first question is, so I know there's something that once happened, which is like bankers that once work, people that were in an era rushing to bank.
I really cannot hear you well, Emeka. I really cannot hear you well.
Hello, can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yes, it's better.
Okay, can you hear me better?
Yes. Or if you could paste it in the chat, you can just text it in the chat. That's better.
Okay. Hello, is it clear now?
Yes, it's clearer.
All right. Okay. So actually, I want to ask. So does this not mean that actually people are going to lose their jobs, or somehow will cause shortage of jobs if this app, from what I'm getting, this app is actually doing many people's jobs at a go? Like
yes.
I mean, for people that are data scientists that
yes.
solve these things normally with their systems. So with this, so what do you think about that, sir? Let me start from there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I think you are correct about AI coming to help people automate a lot of tasks, a lot of jobs, and people will lose their jobs. Some jobs will go redundant, and as we've seen, it is already happening. But I feel like what people need to focus on is how they can revolutionize with what is currently happening, how they can better position themselves. And that's what you guys are doing. You're getting knowledge. you're getting knowledge about how to be a part of the revolution, because like it or not, things will get automated. Some jobs will get redundant, but I feel like what you can do is, as things are getting automated, more jobs are being created, not people, more created. So don't, because there are people in charge of this automation, right? These processes. All you need to do is, please, Ahmed, please mute. All you need to do is just focus on how you can position yourself. People are talking about.
Yeah, so that brings me to the second question. How do I position myself so that I don't find myself at that receiving end?
Okay, so you're doing the right thing. You're learning with students, right? You're getting knowledge. I feel like the best way to position yourself is to get knowledge, right? After this session, build your own version of your own text application, right? Try to get, if you do you have a job in tech, or do you?
No, sir. Okay. No, I'm a digital marketer. I'm still starting with it.
Okay, so you're a digital marketer. Yeah. So find the way to automate some of the things you do. As a digital marketer, I think you write content a lot. Maybe over time.
Very true.
Yeah, some of this content you can build a text summarizer, a text application that helps you write content, right? You're still doing your digital marketing, but you've automated some part of your digital marketing task, right? It might not be really nice might not be working perfectly at the start, but over time you get to fine tune and you make it better. And you think about a world where you have your own blog post generator, and for your client, you don't have to write. Your client just want to write a blog post to promote a certain of their product, and they don't have to write blog about it. You don't have to stress. Just give it to your AI text application to write it for you, right? You can focus on other things. You still not lost your digital marketing job, and you are more productive, right? You've automated some part of the job. Yes, so that's it.
Okay, so that brings me to the next question, sir. I saw GI Jumbo, that is the models, and the GI large.
Say again.
So I said the models I saw that were available for us is J1 Jumbo and J1 large.
Yes, yeah.
So I believe these models are meant to solve text-based trainings, right?
Yes,
only text.
Exactly. Yes, only text.
So do you have other models that can equally solve other things like clinic-based, issues, those normal stuff that we normally train, like using classifiers normally to do, or regressors. So do you have equally AIs that equally automate that for other tasks?
Yes. So really nice question. There are a lot of application, right? And for this session, we only cover text application. There are a lot of things. There are a lot of integration that you can think of. Computer vision, different classifiers. Say for instance, in the health sector, we built different applications in the health sector. We built one that helps to generate clinical notes. And in health sector, your clinical details are private. So we built something with Mantium that helps you mask your clinical data, right? It's a really great use case in health sector. So the possibilities are endless. Just think about it and you find a solution. So I'm trying not to be domain specific, right? So, but if you must have a particular use case, think about it. You can use, there are applications to automate it. For text, I've talked about large language models. And for text on large language models, you can create WhatsApp bots. You can create a text summarizer. You can create blog post generator. You can create intent classifiers, whereby in banks, when you send your customer queries to banks, they receive a lot of customer queries. The bank, Standard Bank, can receive like 10,000 customer queries in a week. So how do you want them to classify that and follow up properly? Some banks have this AI that help them automate it, and Mantium has even worked to one that you do like intent classifier where the customer sends something like, I can't retrieve my card. You classify that as to card retrieval problem. I can't withdraw my money. You classify that as withdraw or something. Do you get automatically? You're not the one doing it. Do you get? So the bank has AI that does it automatically. And what people in that maybe dispense error department needs to be just see a lot of people having dispense error and they treat it. Do you understand? But they don't spend time trying to understand what each customer is sending and classifying that. AI is doing that for them already. So the possibilities are endless. Just stay in touch, get knowledge as much as possible, get knowledge as well. It interprets idioms. Send me your results, please. I'm curious. So send me your result. I'm curious. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. Last question, please. When you said you spoke about the max tokens, and you chose the number 20. And I saw the numbers range from 1 to 2048. That's 2048.
Yes.
So you chose 20. Okay. So can I equally just decide to choose 30? What will be the difference? That's what I was just confused there. If I choose 40, what will be the difference?
Yeah. So
if I decide to take 2,000,
you can play around with it. And see the one that works well with your use case. And you don't want you to make it too much because these people charge money per tokens. So what you're doing is for free right now. But there are some that charge money. So you don't want to make it too much. So you want to find the best sweet spot for your application. Maybe when you're building something really large, something that is word production based. So you have to take note of that as well.
Okay, all right, thank you. That's all from me.
Yes. So just to bring everyone's attention to, so he's posted an example. You can react to that in the chat. He said, what does the word kick the bucket mean in the following sentence? The patient kicked the bucket after the head surgery, meaning to die premature death, to die suddenly. So you can react to it, you can check, respond, and even for people that didn't participate, that you didn't follow along, can react to that as well. So that's one of so many possibilities of large language model. I'd like to end the session right now because I have a meeting for 2 p.m. that I also have to get to. But it's really nice. And also I've dropped my personal contact in the chat, my email, my Twitter handle, my LinkedIn. You can connect with me there also. And you can ask me your questions and all that. So yeah.
Thank you, Blessing.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Blessing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Blessing. We're really, really grateful for taking your time to explicitly put through this thing. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Blessing, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I think Chike has some nice. Chike, can you share with us your results? Chike has some results. You're welcome. Chike, are you there? We're curious, want to see what results you got after. Okay, I think Chike, can you hear me? Hello, can anybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, but I don't think Chike can or something. I'm curious to see what. So he said he's messing with his application. So I'm curious to see what the result is. So I want him to unmute.
Chike. Hi, Chike, are you there? Let's see.
I don't think he's there.
Okay. It's fine. Thank you so much, Blessing, for gracing us with your time. Doi is currently in another meeting, so I'll be rounding this up for us. My name is Oluwaseyi.
Sorry.
Oh,
hello,
okay.
Can I chip in something, please?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if will it be possible to get a video of this session for those that didn't join early, maybe on YouTube or something.
So yes, we recorded this session, so we will upload it and share it with you guys later.
Yeah, okay. Emeka, what's your results for what you posted in the chat? Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Blessing. And can the learners connect with you?
Yeah, I shared my profile already.
Oh, great. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Amazing.
Let me just share it again one more time. It's a slide, and I'll also be sharing the slide as well.
Okay, amazing. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. So if you guys need to.
Yeah, you can send me message on Twitter. You can connect with me
on LinkedIn.
Email.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Blessing. I listened in and I could tell that it was really interactive and interesting. Thank you for making our time again. And I think we've come to the end of this session, and everyone, please enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.